My article today is featured in the health and wellness section of the Wall Street Journal. Its title is "The Cannabis That People Are Using for Anxiety is Probably Making It Worse." And there's a subtitle. It's Anxious Consumers Are Looking for Help, and Pot Companies Have Promoted Their Product as an Answer. This is by Andrea Peterson and Julie Warnow. So right off the bat, the title tells me where this article is going. When a journalist calls a cannabis organization a pot company, I don't think they've intended to create a balanced presentation of the story. The first sentence confirms my suspicion. Lots of people with anxiety are counting on cannabis's ability to treat their symptoms. There's a problem. The science shows that it probably doesn't help and may make those symptoms worse. I have patients who use it every day. They say it really helps, said Dr. Beth Salcedo, a psychiatrist and medical director of the Ross Center in Washington, D.C., who specializes in treating anxiety disorders. My message is that if it were really working for you, you wouldn't be here with me. The authors describe how promoting products for anxiety is potentially a lucrative market. They point out that the legal cannabis markets have been making $30 billion, should have been making $30 billion, but only have been making half, according to the Harvard economist Jeffrey Myron. They fail to point out that the industry has been handcuffed by government regulations. In support of cannabis, the authors quote the titans of the cannabis industry. Erwin David Simon, CEO of Tilray, says, "Is it to replace alcohol, pain for cancer patients, sleep, anxiety? It's all of the above." And Kim Rivers, Tilray says, "Consumers are increasingly turning to cannabis to live with fear and conditions, insomnia and pain." That article misrepresents the scientific studies on cannabis and anxiety. Reader, beware. To story straight, I'd like to explain anxiety. Anxiety is a natural and a useful tool when a person's under stress or danger. I know I wouldn't have completed my medical training without a little anxiety. Now, anxiety becomes problematic when it's associated with dysfunction. Anxiety can be a double-edged sword. It can be good or it can be bad. And so it's to be managed, but it can't be eliminated. The problem with pharmaceutical drugs like Valium, Ativan, or Xanax is that they temporarily eliminate anxiety without the patient learning how to manage it. Everyone has the potential for anxiety, and everyone should learn how to manage it when it occurs. Cannabis helps patients both recognize anxiety and alleviate the symptoms, but it's not a panacea. At higher doses or after use, it can provoke anxiety. Patients respond by adjusting the dose or stopping cannabis altogether. That's possible because withdrawal symptoms from cannabis are minor compared to the benzodiazepine. This health and wellness feature article describes two people, one who benefited from cannabis and one who didn't. And perhaps that's the point. It's what happens in the real world. Some people benefit from cannabis and some don't. And people who use it because it works. It's also beneficial to talk to a therapist to help manage your anxiety. And if you happen to be living in DC with anxiety and are in need of an understanding psychiatrist who sees your cannabis use for what it is, please try not to consult Dr. Beth Salcedo. This is Dr. Jean Talleyrand with High 9 News.
Oh, man. Shots fired, Dr. T. Shots fired.
Yeah.
They found all the idiots in this article.
Oh, man. That was awesome, bro. That was awesome. Yeah. Man, I mean, anxiety, doesn't this kind of just go along with the other trend is that people that already suffer from schizophrenia shouldn't probably smoke cannabis because of that, and this just falls into that same type of category, Dr. T?
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I have schizophrenics as patients who manage their symptoms very well with cannabis. And
Mm-hmm.
so, it's a one-on-one thing. Some people it benefits and some it doesn't, like most substances. And so to villainize it is the problem. And this is what this article is trying to do, try to villainize cannabis.
Quick question, Dr. T, because pharmaceutical drugs, all right, generally only help about 10% of the population that it's designed to help. Do you think that as far as with cannabis that it helps a higher percentage than what pharmaceutical drugs do as far as with helping members of those populations?
Yeah, I don't have those numbers, so I can't back that up in terms of the pharmaceutical, but I think we do have some numbers on cannabis. About 20% are using it in Canada. So we're just finding out.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like
Who knows?
so
It
based
could
on
be 20, it could be 30%.
so based on
Well,
those
and we're
numbers.
also usually
Oh,
we're
go ahead.
measuring people that have problems. Like part of the problem is we often only look at the people that are having problems and then reverse engineering, oh, and used cannabis. We're not looking at all the people that have no problems and use cannabis. They're not presenting and they're not admitting to what else they're consuming. And Jason, I think earlier you might have been conflating what triggers the first psychotic episode or the first where you didn't know you had a problem
Mm-hmm.
until, and then I would point out that there's a holy list of other things that are often the trigger for that first episode that are not cannabis that happen more often than cannabis being that first trigger. So it's in search of the problem in a way that is not honest because we're not taking an honest slice of the American pie. We're only scooping the problems off the top and then staring at that, looking for the connection.
Well, America loves the froth, Dale.
It is frothy. Well said.
Frothy.
Yes.
How do you answer that?
Oh man. Oh, that was great. Thank you so much for that, Dr. T. We appreciate that. We're gonna go